Hello, freshmen. So this whole year has been dedicated to how-to. Next year, you think about viewpoint. And starting day one of next year, you need to focus on stepping out of your own shoes and into somebody else's point of view. Starting with absolutism or Philip II, the first projects you'll have, you need to already know how to do a lot of things. So we know that you know resource evaluation. You've spent a lot of time working on that this year. You've used a couple of databases. We know that you know how to do that. But there are several databases you really need to understand better in order to move forward. You also need to download the Destiny Quest app and use our ebooks. So this final project of this year is really about getting you to have a handle on those few last skills, remaining skills, that we attribute to freshman year learning. So if we are on the home page of the high school library, we're going to go to the annex. We will wait for our steps to load for the Global Pitch project, and we can click on View Article. And once here, you can move forward through the Next button or by hovering over here. So you have your assignment. Your list of questions is right here, so you can actually open that up. Make a copy, rename it, and share it. Okay, I'm going to cancel that because I don't need to do that right now. You can also copy and paste this list of questions here. For step 2, we have ebooks. And this is what I mean when you have to download the Destiny Quest app. You must follow the steps that are listed on this card, which means that you have to include the http://destiny.newcanaan.k12.ct.us in the URL, and then click connect and log in with your very own personal NCPS username and password. The same username and password you use to get into the computers, and the same username and password you use to get into PowerSchool. If you have any questions about how to proceed and how to navigate once you're in the Destiny Quest app to open the ebook, this is an actual video that will open up and it will start to play the instructions on how to use the Destiny Quest app. The critical piece is that you need to be able to go to digital resources. The reason we're insisting that you use those resources is you have a very short window in which to do this research, and you're not going to have a lot of time to come through the library and browse the print collection. What you need to do is rely on some electronic books. And look at this list. We have 180 something ebooks that are available in our online catalog that we have identified as ideal for this project. We have whole books on the history of bananas and potatoes and corn and chocolate. Really important that you come here and you follow the instructions, you download the app, you learn how to navigate the app to access the ebooks, and that you locate these resources. Global Pitch is a subject in our online catalog. The databases are here, and I will walk you through this tutorial right now, but if you want to watch it again, you can click here and you will find it.
So you are going to use 6 databases for this project, and the first one is going to be an encyclopedia, and we're going to look at Encyclopedia Britannica. And the first article in your search for your product will either generate a plant, the name of your product plus plant, or it might say beverage if it's tea or coffee. Each article is broken down into sections, so history, description, type, use, processing, geography, etc. What you need to do with that is create a list of notes, and then you need to organize those notes. So for my purposes, I've basically created a list of pros and cons, but you really need to understand some of the notes better in order to make a decision as to whether they belong in a pro or con category. So definitely write down the keywords. The not sure category is really basically just a parking lot where you would put facts, but you're not sure where they belong yet. So stick them over there for now. And then when you go to the bottom of the article, you'll see that there are additional links. So in our example, where it says biofuels, that might be a really good pro. Perhaps your product is a source of fuel. Additionally, you should also look at the other search terms. So in this instance, the 4th entry there is corn mother. That's a religion. So maybe your product actually has a role in religious celebrations. As you go, continue to add your notes to your category. Another database you're going to use is ABC Clio. And if you look at ABC Clio where it says database links, those are all the modules within ABC Clio. This time you're going to cross-search all of the databases in ABC Clio. So you put in your search term and you click search. And what that generates is a list of the number of articles that appear in each of the modules. So let's just start with daily life through history. And you'll see that it talks about how this product was used in ancient civilizations and more contemporary civilizations. For the next module is the American Indian experience. That won't apply for all of you, but it will certainly apply for the chocolate folks, and it will definitely apply for corn. So it talks about maize, it talks about how it was used in Native American foodway to move on to world geography. And this should be familiar to you because you used it for your very first project this year. Remember, what you're trying to do is build a huge knowledge base about your product so that when you're pitching it, you understand it. The next one you're going to look at is World History of the Modern Era. And if you look through these lists, it might not make a whole lot of sense to you. The Washington Treaty from 1862. But if you scroll down this list, you can see that there's a letter from Hernando Cortés, a letter describing Mexico in 1520. And if you scroll down this, you'll see that there are lots of references to how corn was focal point in trade and communication exchanges between natives in the lands he was visiting and the explorers. The third database is the History Reference Center. And for this, our search is really going to seem very simple. But if you look down to the lower right-hand side under Timeline, we've identified by holding the Shift button and clicking on different centuries. By narrowing our search for corn and maize to that timeline, then we're only going to be looking at historical articles. Here are your results. You have 7 results. It's a very small list. In the first entry, we have something called corn laws. Well, if there are laws about corn, then chances are there's something important to be known about that. And the second article is coastal metropolitan corn trade in later 17th century. That's exactly the kind of history you need to know about, is how corn was used in the 1600s, and you'll see that there are a number of graphs embedded in that. Now we're going to move to more contemporary information about corn and maize. So by doing a cross-search in CQ Researcher, you can see that the titles of the articles themselves will actually point you in the direction of ideas for your pitch. Another useful database is Global Issues in Context. That's where you are going to find out how your product is being used or impacting economies and diets across the world. All of your products impact health in one way or another. And so it is important for you to take a look at eLibrary Science and do some searching for your product and health. Look in news and magazines. Only look for articles within the last 2 years. You can search using Boolean operators and capitalize the whole word and. You can also check off the box health if that's what you're looking for.
For search strategies, I've only given you a handful, but you can see that, say, if you're searching for tea in a contemporary issues database, you might want to leave out the word party so that you're not looking for the political party called the Tea Party. For citing sources, I want to make sure that you know how to copy and paste a citation into EasyBib. So click on the Cite button, and you'll have to find the MLA version, and then copy that. And then in EasyBib, in your bibliography, you will go to all 59 options, and under Write Paste, you will paste your citation and then create citation. As always, if you have questions, please text your library.